Does it matter what we believe? How does what we believe shape our lives? Is there more to this life than what meets the eye? There was a man whose name was Issa. Born in Japan more than 100 years ago, he grew up as a Buddhist and became a famous poet. His life was filled with tragic and painful experiences, just like yours and mine. At age 52, he married a younger woman. His wife gave birth to a daughter named Sato. A year passes and Sato, the joy of his life, contracts smallpox and dies. Issa goes to his priest with the sorrow of his heart. The priest instructs him, learn the lesson that this world is an illusion, like the morning dew. Issa writes this poem. The world is dew. The world is dew. And yet, his breaking heart tells him that life is more than just an illusion. And yet, where do you go when your heart is breaking, filled with pain, loaded down with sorrow? Are we just to row our boats? Is life simply just a dream? Are we, as some modern thinkers would have us believe, just an accident of nature? Are we simply a series of chemicals that randomly collided? Is this life all there is? Is there more to this life than meets the eye? I met a man who told me his story. As a teenage boy, he was in a serious car accident. He felt his soul leaving his body. He could see himself. He was rising, but then he felt a touch. A voice told him, "This is not your time. Go back." Some will tell you that life is just a dream. And yet, we all need a place of rest, a place to take our sorrow. If there's more to this life than meets the eye, then the grave is not that place of rest. Our fear of death may not just be the fear of the unknown, but a fear of Judgment Day. Who among us can say, "I've never told a lie," and really mean it? Who is there among us who could throw the first stone at another deserving of death? There is one who walked among us, who never told a lie. He never did anything wrong. He was not willing to throw the first stone. He came to save that which is lost. He came to free us from the fear of death. He tasted death, yet he lives. Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me shall live, even though he dies. He who lives and believes in me will never die." Then he asked the question, do you believe this? Jesus came to comfort us in our pains and our sorrows as well. He invites us to come to him, as his burden is light. If only Issa could have met him. Jesus is the answer to the longing of our hearts. And yet,